Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day or night it is that you are joining us. I wish you the best of it. I'm Grant Lamontang from Multitool.org, and this is EDC-TV. With me tonight is my good buddy Abe Elias from Diving Sparrow Knife Works. How are you, Abe?
Good, and how are you this evening?
I'm just ducky. And tonight we also have my other good buddy, Inky. How are you doing tonight, Inky?
I'm good. I'm good.
So tonight we have a topic, and sure, it's going to be recycled a little bit from last week because we kind of forgot to cover our topic last week once again. But that's half the fun of doing whatever it is that we do.
I think we forgot. I think we just blatantly ignored it.
Well, I don't know. Did we do it on purpose? I don't even remember. So tonight we are actually going to look at the things that we keep in the EDC bags that we talked about a couple of weeks ago in our big EDC bag episode. But first, as usual, Abe, have you got anything new and exciting in the past week or so that you want to talk to us about?
Kind of in keeping with the theme of bags today, I got this little puppy. I don't know if you can see it. It's a tool bag, so it's got dividers in it. It's got parts to carry, like pockets to carry small parts, like barrettes for the Americans, wire nuts, right? Things like extra screws or whatever. Maybe like if I'm doing a little electrical testing, I could put a small electrical tester in there. I just kind of wanted I get into in my job as a handyman. The handyman code is as the same as with all handyman. That code is that you kind of don't leave your tools around because like I don't set them up on a kitchen counter or I don't set them on a table or something like that because people are worried about their cleanliness and they have the right to be because of the stuff that I fix. And so a lot of times I don't need a full big tool bag. So this is like perfect for carrying stuff in, providing a little tray so that way the tools aren't touching people's counters or floors or tables and I could put it on the floor and find everything and keep everything together. And best part is this is built like a tank. I
Yeah.
kid you not, I was shocked. I thought maybe it'd be like flimsy nylon or stuff like this. This is good durable nylon. The zippers aren't really big like YKK zippers, but I'll tell you, like I said, the stitching is really solid from what I could tell. Time will tell even more. And like it's solid. Like it's a heavy duty bag and well laid out for the purpose that I bought it. It was only $25
Nice.
on Amazon.ca.
Nice. Is there a brand on that, or is it just typical Amazon no name brand stuff?
It had some kind of name like Wachasuchi or something like that. I don't know. The only disappointment is the shoulder strap. It's got no padding to it. It's very kind of flimsy. I don't doubt. I mean, unless you, I don't think you load enough in this bag to break the strap. I don't know about the beaners, like the clips, but there's no padding. You would want to carry this around with you for any period of time. So that's the only disappointing thing about the initial impressions. Honestly, I haven't carried it yet, but we're going to load it up probably in the next couple of days because we're going to be starting warm weather and people break things in the warm weather.
What about you, Inky? Have you got anything new and exciting this week you'd like to tell us about?
I don't really have fingernails, so I keep getting these picks, to open knives with.
Okay.
So I got another new one. I use this one to open up, like, stuff with a nail nick. It's only like this is made by Rough Rider. Just put it there and
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people use those at like the SHOT Show and stuff when they're,
yeah.
opening up blades all day long.
Yeah, it saves your nails, but they're cheap, like $5. That's all I got. I lost my other one. I got a few of these somewhere, but I couldn't find them.
Nice.
But these are great. That's it.
So, how about you, Grant? Did you get anything new?
I mean, I bought a utility trailer today, but I don't really have that handy to show it on camera. And I got a new Nalgene bottle for the gym, but that's up on my Instagram right now in case anybody wants to check out our Instagram channel. It's really great. It's olive drab, which is exactly what you want in it to make sure that you never know if you're drinking algae or not.
Perfect.
Well, this is not new, of course. This is one of the electric lighters that I've been carrying and using for a while. I really like the arc lighters. They, unlike a lot of lighters, they, don't run out of fuel. So one charge on these lasts literally years, at least with my use. But the issue with this one and my other one is they are taking the old USB, mini USB, I think it is, or micro USB, one of the two.
Yeah.
And everything nowadays is USB C. So I made sure to buy a new one last night that is USB C powered because, well, because it's
You can get
easier
the
to charge.
converters. Yeah,
I think you just wanted to buy something.
but you can get the converters on them
That too.
because I've noticed that, like, here's the small one that I have, and
Mhm.
I go into the stores looking for the larger, longer ones.
Yes, you can get the converters, but I don't know. I wanted to buy a new toy.
Yeah, I know, that's cool.
Anyways, yeah, so I use these all the time. I really, really like them. I am not a smoker, but like you often say, Abe, it's important to always have the ability to make fire wherever you go. These little arc lighters are just great for that. I don't recommend sticking your finger in there.
No, those work great. You know what? You remember the old Blazer lighters? They're kinda shaped like that, but they were regular gas.
Yeah.
They were the only ones I ever had that were really made well, out of all the ones I've had.
I find, and this is sort of a major cause of frustration, before I got into these arc lighters, I just had a hard time finding a decent lighter that I liked. I had, carried Zippos, but again, I don't smoke. So every time I go to use it, you know, it's dry. I wouldn't light. I also found that if I carried it in the pocket of my jeans, the fluid as it evaporated really irritated my skin.
Yeah, it bothers you.
Yeah. So I didn't really like those. Inky, you introduced me to a brand called Calibri, which I really liked for about two
Sorry.
weeks while it worked.
Sorry about that. Carapoly.
Yeah,
I
and
meant to
you told me they were
they
good,
didn't
so
get
I bought one, and
I actually had a really good one, and the best of the Zippos, but that's the gas. If you really wanna be sure it's gonna work. Well,
Well,
not really not.
there's an insert you can get for the Zippos now. I got one for mine that it
Yeah,
takes
Z-Lights.
butane. Yeah,
They're
it
called
takes the
Z-Light.
butane. Now
yeah.
Z-Light.
this is butane. It's refillable, but it's a dollar store special,
Mhm,
and I'm surprised at how long these keep. Like, I've I've had multiple of them, and they're so cheap. You can actually you not only carry one on you, you can leave one in the car, you can leave one in the truck. You put a couple extra in your EDC bag if we're talking about what we carry in our EDC bag. A backup to your lighter
mhm,
is now that's just one thing. That's a beauty. I'm kind of impressed with how you can get a decent quality. It just won't take a drop on hard surface for the life of it.
mhm.
But it's d I've had I think I've had one for 3 years, the original one for 3 years now. The paint's almost worn off of it, and it still lights.
You're gonna be hard pressed to convince me that there's anything out there better than these arc lighters.
Now, how do you like that lighter, Grant, for, like, say, starting fires and stuff? It's fine, right?
Honestly, I don't use this to start fires so much. Usually what I'll do is I'll take a little scrap of paper or a leaf or something, and I'll stick
Yeah,
that in between the electrodes, and
and it sets it up,
it
right?
ignites almost immediately, yeah, because these
Yeah,
arcs
okay.
are really, really hot.
Yeah, the on once they at first, those weren't great, but they did improve on them a lot. They really have.
Well, this one's probably gotta be close to 10 years old at least, and,
Yeah, well, they were out
I
like 20, 30 years ago.
yeah, I think I have charged this maybe once or twice in that time. Again, I'm not a heavy user of it, and if you are trying to start a fire or something, I mean, that's about all the power you need, right? Let me see if I have any fire
Well,
here.
I bought that one that arcs, has the extendable neck, and is also a flashlight. It's not an expensive one, but it's been working well when I do carry it. It's a little bulkier than these dollar store ones, but like I said, these ones are great if you're just looking for an inexpensive one that you could just leave it, forget it, like backup. Nobody wants to spend like a lot of money, even knives or anything, just to have it sit in a bag forever, right?
Yeah,
So this one works for me that.
Now, my fire
that's the
extinguisher
other
is
thing.
right there, and it is fully charged. It is in the green, so here's just a piece of packaging, and, you know,
Instant.
so,
They're pretty amazing,
I
or at
mean,
least the one I have.
yeah, you use a lot more power in this by playing with it than you do actually, setting anything on fire. So,
I like the fact that the one I bought has that extendable neck to it.
yeah.
Like, if you're doing campfires and stuff where you need to get into a tighter area
Yes.
with the flame.
And
It's
that is
kind of
a
cool.
drawback with this one. If you're trying to get, on to the bottom of your campfire, you're sticking your whole hand in there, which is why I prefer to light something else and throw it in. But yeah, you're talking
Beauty of
about that
that though,
flashlight one that you bought, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
The beauty of that one though that you've got there, Grant, is even with this, to a certain degree in the wind, if I've got to get low on a fire, I'm gonna get some feedback, I'm gonna get some heat off the flame.
Mhm.
As where with the arc ones, with that one there, once you put it in, you're not really gonna get, like, with a flame, licking back at you.
They are affected by wind, not as much as the other lighters.
Yeah, that thing has a really nice solid arc to it, and the X thing is great. The original ones were just one.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like a single. Those are the ones that failed
This
more.
this is
I'll
just
be
a
back,
cheapy
guys.
one off of eBay, as is the new one that I've got coming.
Yeah, it doesn't take much nowadays.
No, no, I feel like the expensive ones that you're gonna buy are just the cheapy ones that somebody has bought and, put another logo on it and charged extra. But,
A
it's a
lot of times.
pretty solid little case that it's in. I've used this in a lot of places. I don't wanna say it's waterproof, but, it's reasonably well protected. And yeah, I
So
mean,
that
who
you can flip that around like that too? That's doable?
what's that?
You could flip the insert around and it's okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just
So that's good for righties and lefties then.
I mean, I don't know, I think the button's just in the wrong place there. You're better off to probably just turn it around, but
Come on, I'm trying to make things better.
yeah, well, I mean,
I know a lefty.
it works nice. It's nothing special. I don't know, I think this one was about $6, but
That's
the
it.
new one I bought was, very expensive at $16. So,
Paid a lot of money for good lighters back in the day. We really did.
oh, yeah,
My
absolutely.
Blazer was like at least 40 bucks, maybe 50, and that was I bought that at least, well, maybe 2010 or before that. It still works great, it really does. You know what, with those, there's a little maintenance you gotta do to them. Gotta let the air out of them and stuff. People don't realize that.
Yeah, and I think that might be
But
what went
those
wrong
are
with that
great.
Calibri that I bought.
See, I would never have thought to bought one of those or to buy one of those, I should say, until now. Now I would get one.
Well, I can honestly
I'm an
say
old
I've got
fart.
2 like this, and they're fantastic. And the only reason, like I said, I'm thinking about replacing this one is just because the technology changed slightly.
What's the new technology like?
Really, the only difference is it's gone from this old style mini USB to, a USB-C.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Other than
I
that,
got you.
yeah, the technology of the lighter itself, I don't imagine is significantly better, but, we'll find out. You saw how quickly it set fire to that.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, which
I didn't know they had that pattern. That was the answer, because that single arc was not doing it.
yeah. I mean, I've had electric lighters in the past. There was one that I had, I can't remember the brand of it, but again, it would charge through a USB port, and when you would throw the switch on it, it had like, the little spiral elements that you have on a stove?
Horrible.
Yeah, it
They
had
clog right up,
like a really tiny one, like about that big.
Like a glow plug.
Um,
you put your cigarette on it,
Yeah,
clogs up.
like a glow plug on a diesel.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I always wondered about, putting that on a cigarette and
No,
getting
I've
shit stuck
tried
to it,
that
but
one too.
so, yeah.
It's like a weak car cigarette lighter. It's horrible.
But we
It
also have a piece of news before we get too involved in our topic tonight. We of course debated discussing this, but the reality is it's something that's going on in the industry, and we should at the very least acknowledge it. And that is the current issues surrounding Bark River knives. Now, we have actually known Mike Stewart for a great many years through knife forums, and the result is he admitted to using Chinese steel in some of his products that were labeled as, made in the USA. And we can't condone that kind of activity, but then we're also not really involved in it. So we don't have a dog in that fight. So there's not much we're going to have to say about it. You're finding all the information online through all the regular sources. I think that I speak for all of us when I say that we feel bad for everybody who lost their jobs, and regardless of whatever else may or may not have happened, we wish all those people who've lost their livelihoods the best. And and we hope that they manage to find something else soon.
It's unfortunate. Again, it's unfortunate for those people that lost their job. Escanaba, where the facility is located at, isn't a big town. They don't have a great number of employees, and actually, the number of people he employed was significant compared to even the largest employer in that town.
Once again, people losing their livelihoods is just really unpleasant, no matter how you slice it. Anything to add there, Inky?
You know what they say, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it. Anything at all, so
Is that how that
I'm good.
goes? I thought it was if you don't have anything nice to say, start a podcast.
I do feel bad for the people that lost their jobs. At least he did have people employed there, you know?
Hmm.
And, that's all I got.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that. So moving right along, tonight's topic is what do you keep in your EDC bag? And we've apparently decided that we all like to keep lighters in there.
Why
Products
not?
to keep ourselves clean, like hygiene products, but I do carry we talked about handy wipes,
Yep.
and I do carry things like, not a sanitizer, but something to clean wounds with, either alcohol or peroxide, and that goes along with a very kind of like a not a minimalist, but a very tight, small first aid kit.
Yep. There's a lot
Most
of
of my
really good commercially available first aid kits that are about the size of an Altoids tin, and I have quite a few of those. None handy, unfortunately, but they're fantastic, and I highly recommend them. And if you're somebody who's trained in first aid, then feel free to get your own Altoids tin and assemble your own kit.
So I bought in some smaller nylon cases so I could put a little bit more in because of my experience with first aid. So I've got 2 sizes that I will carry depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing. But importantly, that I learned I got used to doing this when I worked at Chrysler was because you're in a factory. So if you get a headache, have some stuff for headaches. You have a problem, you need Imodium, keep some Imodium, so it doesn't hurt to keep a small that's not even that you can say it's first aid kit related, but it's more like keeping your life comfortable stuff
We
in your in your bag.
When we travel, we have what we call the personal care kit, and it's got things like Tylenol, Advil, Imodium, Tums, that kind of thing in it because you just never know.
As a young guy, the pocket knife and a lighter was always there. But I think the influence of having worked at Chrysler for so long with carrying bandages and some pills and other backup stuff that started the actual venturing into EDC. How about you, Inky?
Well,
But
what do you like in first aid kits, Inky?
actually, I'm just making another one. Well, I'm not making a first aid kit. I'm making a new bag/first aid kit. Like, I got a beefy or whatever it's called, the big pocket organizer that won't fit in your pocket.
Right.
Supposed to have a gun on one side, but I'm eliminating that. And, I just keep, I keep itchy cream now. Yeah, I got itchy cream because when I get bit, man, I'm allergic to them. I guess. I
Yes.
just started carrying that.
I think one time we touched on I showed you that little cord I had, and you asked what it was for, but it's my emergency patch cord where I can do micro USB, I could do C, I can it's a little multi I don't have it here with me. It's on the outside of the table. I don't wanna make a noise to get it, but I tend nowadays something that's changed over the years for sure that I never carried before was stuff to maintenance my electronics, basically power banks, and core patch cords, the adapters, just in case I run into something where I need an adapter
Right.
and go from and I've got all kinds. Like I've got them from this to this, C to micro, micro to USB, all over the place.
Right. So the only two cords that I need are the micro USB that I showed you earlier, or mini USB. I always get those two mixed up. And the USB-C is pretty much everything for me nowadays, from my iPad to, well, my phones, my tablets, my drones, everything is all USB-C. And I think that's fantastic. Europe made a good plan on that one. But yeah, battery banks are definitely an important part of my EDC these days, especially because a lot of them have, built-in flashlight. That's another thing that, is rechargeable by USB-C. So I carry a few of the battery banks. I've even got a heated vest, so I keep a large capacity battery bank in my pocket.
You know what sucks? Don't some things need different power supplies though? Like,
Not anymore.
some things take more amp plug-in pieces?
The U
My
in
Samsung's like that. You can't charge it unless you get one of the higher wattage chargers. You cannot. It takes like if I put it on one of the older ones, it's like 10 hours to get it up to full charge.
yes, it
If I
still
put it
Plus,
on
I
one of
don't
the
works.
think
new
it
ones,
The U in
huh?
I don't think
USB
it's health
stands for universal, and so anything that takes USB takes all the kinds of USB. How effectively it can take it is another story, but you won't
but
damage
how about
anything.
if you're too strong? Can you burn something out?
No.
No, you can't. But like I said, it's
You can't overcharge a battery?
I mean, not really. There's always the possibility that something is going to go wrong, but no, realistically nowadays these things are all designed to control the amount of flow that they get in, and they won't let themselves do that. So
Yeah,
here's
of
an
course.
interesting question then, getting, of course, off of our topic of bags. What phones are you guys carrying? I believe we're all Android guys, but which model do you have, Abe?
got. I bought a 22.
The Galaxy S20,
Yeah, and now I think they're up to 24.
something like that. I have no idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, shortly after I bought it, I shot it. So the screen is damaged on it. Eventually, I've either got to buy a new phone or pay $280 to get the screen changed out because there's 3 black spots on the screen for where I shot the phone.
Yeah, phones don't tend to last long with me either. I generally have to replace them every couple of years, if not more often, because I've broken them, not because of anything else. I'm actually using the Google Pixel 10, sorry, Pixel 9 Pro XL, I think it is. And of course, I've got an OtterBox case on it because it's the only case I've ever had that has held up to any kind of punishment whatsoever. I've had this on
Yeah.
all of my phones, and they haven't worked when I've brought them back, but they have all looked brand new.
I had an old LG, and the Otter box was the reason why I broke.
Really?
Yeah, but it was a stupid reason. So the Otter boxes, as you know, if you use them a lot, they get kind of dirty. You want to clean them up, keep them sanitary and stuff like that. I had never dropped that phone and done any damage to it, maybe a couple of small drops. It was an old LG 7 or something like that. I take it out of the case and set it on the kitchen counter so I can wash the case. And then I bump a dish. The dish bumps the LG and the LG goes flat right to the ground, smashes the living shit. Like
That's how
it
it
was
always
like
works. Yeah.
the 3 minutes it would have taken me to clean that, and I've cleaned it before, so it was boom.
The fates wait until you take the case off of your phone and then they strike. So, what about
That's
you, Inky?
Murphy's
What
Law,
phone are you
right?
using?
Too ultra. When
That's
you need
the,
37 cameras,
oh, yeah.
that's the phone you wanna use.
So, what about you, Inky? Anything out of the ordinary you're generally keeping in your EDC bags?
Does any law enforcement listen to this podcast?
Hypothetically, are there any weird things that you might consider keeping in your EDC
Uh,
bags if you were so inclined?
no, not really. I really just I'm actually starting to rebuild a bigger one now, which is new for me. But no, nothing odd, just like, like Wendy's into, like, crystals. So if she wants me to carry a crystal, I'll throw one in there.
Any
You
particular
know?
kind of crystal? Any meaning behind it?
Yeah, meth.
There's a meaning behind every crystal.
Like
There's a
like a
mis
clear quartz or something, obsidian.
Okay.
Hematite.
So here's one that I'm surprised you guys haven't mentioned. This is particularly a DMT diamond sharpener. I would think that as knife guys, we're all of the type to be carrying a knife sharpener of some sort. Is this just me, or do you guys carry a sharpener
That's a
with you?
great idea,
No,
actually.
I carry sharpeners.
I don't mean to derail this, although that is exactly what we tend to always do here. But I got an email last week from Gerber, and I'd really like to get everybody's opinion on this because honestly, I'm thinking it looks pretty fantastic.
I really like that. Yeah, you. Now I wouldn't be crazy. I've talked about it. I'm not crazy about the bowls and the dishes.
What we are looking at is the Gerber Complete Compact Cook Set, which you can find on the Gerber website at gerbergear.com. What it is it's basically an entire cook set for camp: a pot, pan. There appears to be a silicone trivet, some bowls, pot lifter, lid, and it all comes in a handy little bag. Now, I'm going to assume, Abe, that you've got more than a few of these types of sets as I do.
Yeah, I've got a lot of MSR stuff because
Yeah.
they were really big when I was doing camping. So this has, like you said, the bag. It's got pots to it. The one thing I found experience wise, over my time of camping and stuff like that. You don't want things like bowls and plates that aren't insulated because if you start putting hot food in them, it's hard to hold them. More so the bowls, because that's like like if you've gone camping and haven't had a package of soup
Mhm.
for a meal, you haven't gone camping,
I
right?
found
That's a
that out with
common food.
the I had some MSR stainless steel plates and bowls, and they were fantastic. I really liked them right up until I put, I don't know, probably one of those Mountain House boil in the bag type freeze dried meals in one, and then you're trying to hold it, and you've just made it with boiling water. So, yeah, it gets very hot.
Yeah. That's why I never miss the opportunity to stock up on wooden bowls. And wooden bowls are great to hold hot soup in. But long story short, they're kind of neat too. I like the idea. They're smart. They've got different colored plates, so everybody knows whose plate is whose when they're eating.
Yeah. No, I'm liking the look of this. I've got a few kits, some name brands, some not so much, and they're all nesting pots and pans. And I really like them for taking with me on kayaking trips or when camping, that kind of thing. But I find a lot of them, the handles, they're kind of flimsy. So I generally prefer a set with a pot lifter because at least then I know it's the little clamp thing that you grab onto the side of the pot.
Yeah, this one has one.
Yes,
Go up
yes,
again.
this one does. Yeah, it's right there. And that's
It's
what
a
I was
traditional
saying. I
style.
do like that about this. Although I don't know if that's so much a pot lifter as just the detachable handle for the pan. If you see the pot itself has folding handles. But I find when you've got the two, where they're hinged and they sort of wrap around the pot when they're folded, I find that they kind of sometimes fold themselves a little bit when you're cooking, and then you kind of gotta grab that hot handle away from the pot. So I'm not sure that I like this pan having a separate piece like that, but I do like the fact that it seems to have a pretty sturdy handle on it, assuming you don't lose it.
Yeah. See, there's a couple of things about that kit that I like and don't like just in the pot and the pan. The pan, I don't like the sharp edge from the look of it. It's got too sharp angle coming down from the sides. But of course, I'm looking at a small picture. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Not crazy about that. It makes cleaning up kind of hard. It also makes cooking kind of hard because then you get a little bit more. You can't serve out of it like you could one with a round edge and things like that, right?
right,
Because you can get things to slide out. Now the pot, what I like about the pot, it doesn't have that awful, just same old stale single bale, the one that crosses over top, folds down on the side, because most of the time, not all the time, unless you get like a band one, like when MSR came out with the one that's a band, the pot would balance when you took it off the fire. But the ones that were wire, sometimes they were poorly balanced and you'd be cooking a stew or something or mashed potatoes or boiling pasta, and you go to pull that off the fire, and that freaking thing would just dump because it wasn't balanced properly,
right.
right? But those 2 bales, if you look at them, the 2 side bales look like, see how they stick out at the bottom? So it looks like they thought about what you were talking about, that you would never have to get your fingers pulling the handles directly away from the pot.
Right.
Like, 0 clearance between the handle spot, and I don't know because this is one of the things I could not find. I could have missed it. Doesn't mean it's not there, but are the coatings on those handles silicone, so they're not gonna absorb the heat?
They certainly look like they would be
Look
silicone.
something.
Stainless steel detachable handle with silicone over mold. That's on the pan.
Pan.
And stock pot handles lock in place and stay cool while in use. So,
If it's on the handle, yeah, they know. Now here's the other thing that bugs me about the pan, right? Without seeing it, you're ordering it over the internet. So, stainless steel pans, they don't have nonstick on them. So for them to act like nonstick, you cannot put stuff in them until you get that pan up to temp. Now the issue that I might have because I can't hold it is how thick a steel they're using for the pan. Because if it's a thin steel and you've got to bring it up to the temperature that you need to bring it up to, so that way stuff will eventually heat up and release from it, and it's thin, the pan will warp, right? You're going to lose your flat bottom immediately. The same thing for the pod. And that's why the MSR set I had is got a surprisingly a pretty damn heavy gauge on the pot. and the pan, because the pan is the lid.
Anyways, you got any thoughts on this one, Inky?
I don't know much about that stuff. Not really much.
But here's something I'd like to do. I'd like to involve the audience in this, like people listening to this. So we talked about like share your tricks with us. Like if you got a tip on where you find inexpensive cases, if it's just on Amazon or not, if you have a way of organizing your stuff. Like some people, like when I did backpacking, I carried a fanny pack in front of me at all times because why? If I wanted a snack, it was there. If I needed my gloves tucked away and get at it right away, if I needed a small first aid kit, yeah, I mean, I didn't carry everything in the main backpack behind me, and that's when I was hiking, not in my canoe. Share some of that stuff with us. Pop in, start a thread up. Somebody be courageous, start a thread up, and start sharing with us how you like to organize your EDC gear. Share with us things that you carry. But anyways, show up there and show us your EDC. Let's start a thread saying, "Show me your EDC." I'd like to. I'm looking for a new bag. I mean, I'm easily influenced. I'll buy shit. I've heard that I'm easily influenced to buy shit. Show us your bag. Show us your EDC bag.
You know
That's
what
a
I'm gonna get? I think I wanna get the Neat Freak.
I like my Neat
neat.
Freak. I have one of those. It's great.
Whoa, now you've never told me about this. What is it?
The Maxpedition Neat Freak.
That's the kind of stuff I carry, stuff of that. I don't like just leaving my stuff there. Like, I open my bag, I got a whole like, I have my glasses and things just laid out, they could fall right out. I wanna be able to go through stuff without being all I always gotta reorganize and close it up and
I think every bag should be big enough to leave yourself some scavenger space. And
yeah,
Yes,
it's not as
absolutely.
you know, so
I
it's like,
think you
okay,
should carry a couple of different bags, for
yeah,
that reason.
but I think it's important to never fill your bag totally off the bat.
Mhm.
Leave yourself some room.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
That's why I want the Neat Freak.
So a few years
Cheap.
ago, I decided I wanted to get a Neat
That's my
Freak, and I thought I would check on the forum first to see if anybody had one they were looking to get rid of before I, spent new money on it. The forum members decided to get together and buy me this, so I really appreciate that, and that's why it's worth mentioning here. But this is the Neat Freak, as you can see with the
it's
Swiss
awesome.
Army Knights patch on it, and it's a small, almost like a tiny messenger bag, but it's got a lot of pockets and organizers built into it for all kinds of different things, and it is large enough for an 8-inch tablet, as you can see.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you because I mean, I can see your hand in there for a bit of a reference, so it does look larger than, say, like a little definitely, I'm gonna sound like a nerd, definitely larger than a tricorder for the original Star Trek series.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll handle the thickness of an Spock
Yeah.
era tricorder, but as you can see, I definitely got my tablet in there. I actually got the tablet after that in there as well, and that was a 10-inch Kindle Fire tablet with the Bluetooth keyboard attached. So, and it was a little bit tight, but you can get all kinds of things into it, and it's a fairly small package.
It's nice. It's I when I got one, I returned it. I don't remember why.
Well,
Back then, I think I didn't like the thinner insides. To me, everything had to be all that rough outside thing, and
yeah,
now that I use the pocket organizers, I trust it a little bit more.
yeah.
I
Well,
didn't trust that thin material because that's what junk used to be made of.
And that's something I wanted to ask too because I've often gone through so many different notepads. Do you guys actually find, because I noticed you had a Right in the Rain, do
yes.
you actually find it to be that see, it's funny you have that so you're in the Carolinas, and look, I've got the same one through the dollar store up here. That's
Yeah,
so
I
weird.
don't have the right in the rain, I have the right in my truck where
Yeah,
it's not raining.
that's mine, but look how yours is the exact basically the exact same one I have.
Yeah,
I've never really invested in them. That's basically what I'm saying. I've just never really
yeah,
found the urge to invest in a Right in the Rain.
When you are out in the rain and you're making
great.
notes constantly, it's sort of a necessity.
If
You
even if
do.
it was dry, still couldn't read my notes at the end of the day. My handwriting used to be so bad, I'd come back from SHOT Show and ask Sandra, "What's this say?" And she'd look at me and she'd go, "How am I supposed to know? That's your handwriting."
Well, see, that was the nice thing about not being a magazine writer, but instead working on the internet with the forum.
Yeah, no, I took notes while they were talking. I found it sometimes depending on the individual. Like if you had Joyce was so used to it, she talked at a pace you could take the notes, and she saw that you were struggling to keep up with her. She was very attentive to you. Then you'd get some of the new people, and they'd be like, and you'd be like, "Shh, a fire would start. You would need that electrical lighter. Your pen was moving so quick, a fire would start.
You might not remember your first time at SHOT, but I'm pretty sure you were also pretty nervous the first time you set out on that floor.
Yeah, there were some good ones, and like I said, there was some ones that, like you said, it was their first time. And some people, oftentimes you find this in any industry, once they've done it so many times, they just kind of go on autopilot and forget autopilot is 110 miles an hour. The other thing too, this is EDC related too. I don't know if you guys found this, but when you first started carrying EDC like full bags, did you not immediately find that I need to get rid of this? This is too heavy. I need to pair. And that happened to me at SHOT Show when I started doing basically that's another form of EDC bag. The first year I went, I had a mech courier's bag and I was exhausted
Yep.
just from the bag alone.
Yeah, I carried a tactical operator Maxpedition through many of the SHOT shows, and I got to the point initially I was bringing my laptop everywhere because I thought I would need it, quickly going to take notes, but I'm not really that much of a typist. So I ended up getting rid of my laptop early on. But anyways, on that note, we are running out of time for yet another week, and it looks like Inky's been through all of his mails. So, what about you, Abe? Have you got any final thoughts you'd like people to take home with them tonight?
Just to repeat, go to the forum and let's I'd love to see. I think a lot of people, I mean, that's a big thing on a lot of the social media, people showing their gear off. Show us your gear off. Let's see if you got some ideas that we're missing. Because I'm trying to. I was going to say too, really quick. When I was a knife maker, I could not get over how many people. I'm still am, but I'm not active right now. I could not get how many people didn't want to communicate by email. They wanted to talk to you, and so when you kind of become a personality,
Hmm.
people want to interact with you. It makes them feel like there's something. I just definitely just be, I guess, program compliant. Like if you're gonna do EDC, try and remember to carry your EDC and be reasonable about it.
Yeah, that's definitely a good choice. And what about you, Inky? Have you got any final thoughts you'd like people to take away from this?
Yeah, I think all kidding aside, should check the forum out. It's pretty awesome. Very friendly, very awesome, and the whole people from all over the whole world are there. It's very cool.
No, I can't argue with that. But then, as the guy who's been running that for almost 20 years there, I guess I might be a little bit biased. So while you're at it, definitely come and visit us at forum.multitool.org. It's that site makes this podcast possible. So if you enjoy what you're seeing here, you're gonna love the stuff over there. Also,
Can I apologize?
yeah, go for it. What have you got?
I apologize for Abe's mustache, for whatever it might have been saying, because I know it's been cursing at me all night.
He just looks like he's gonna jump into a big green pipe there and go and save the princess.
It does look good, though. I like it.
So yeah, come visit us on the forum. If you have any thoughts that you'd like to, share with us, you're more than welcome to do that on our forum, or you can get a hold of us at EDC-TV at multitool.org. Other than that, if you don't mind hitting that like button or giving us a good rating on whatever podcast platform, whatever, and then subscribe to us because that's how we're going to get ahead on this. And I also hate it when content creators do that, but it works. So we're going to do that. Feel free to subscribe to us, and we will catch you next week when we may or may not have a topic and we may or may not acknowledge our topic. Thanks very much, and have a great week, everybody. Take care.